Ian,
Yes, Pat.
seems like
Sorry.
very subdued response. It seems like once a year, something is being found of value in the Seattle Northwest area where Nintendo of America is headquartered. This is not a coincidence. Again, last year there was an NWC console found up there. In the past, they found the Star Fox 2 prototype, and they found Campus Challenge, at a garage sale. So it seems like it's always it's the hotbed for this stuff coming out.
Sure.
So a Nintendo World Championships 1990 Great Cart was discovered recently, posted on Reddit, and a video with Metal Jesus Rocks and Kelsey from Guerrilla Games, Pink Gorilla, not Guerrilla Games, Pink Gorilla, just came out. So this is exciting. It's always an exciting find. Another member of the NWC family is found. This one is number 287. The numbers, if you're not familiar with NWC Great Carts, these are the carts that were actually used in the competition themselves. The highest number is somewhere in the low 300s, so it's safe to say that they produced at least 300 of these. They obviously toured around the U.S. They probably lost some probably may have broken down over heavy usage at these tournaments, so that's why they created. And plus, at some of these events, you had tons of kids playing, so you need a lot of these made. But the fact of the matter is now, there's a lot less than 300 that exist.
Sure.
A lot less. They gave away 90 to the 90 finalists at the grand championships, whatever, in Florida. So we know that those 90 were given out, but those aren't the ones that we know exist still. Some of them are, but that's not all of them. Some were taken from employees. Some just happened to somehow end up in people's hands. We don't know how the one came into Luna Video Games. We have no idea how that person got theirs, as an example.
Yeah.
So,
and that's, unfortunately, we'll never know.
We'll never know. The world may never know. That guy never came back, did he?
No.
So this one showed up. It was in the person selling it is his brother's gaming collection. He just had it there. And so he went on Reddit asking for help how to sell it. I was involved on the side, kind of. I was asked by Kelsey to know, is there anyone that who would want to buy one? I knew someone. I tried to put them together to work out a deal. I offered my advice. You can put it on Nintendo Age because I think there's a bounty on Nintendo Age for $20,000 for one. There has been one on eBay for I think $32,000 or best offer on there. So it's always fun when these get found, especially in the wild, because it's just another one you can add to the list, and the fact that it's individually marked helps as well. So in Metal Jesus' video, he says he first got a DM or DM, same thing, saying that, hey, look at this card, and he said, this is probably bullshit.
Yeah, he thought he was
stop trolling me.
He was hanging out with his wife and was like, I don't know that I need to.
It's a waste of time.
But he actually went and did a reverse Google search, which was rather ingenious of him. That was a good way to jump into it and see if there was some legitimacy to it.
Sure. You can just do that easily. You can say, this does not match up. I was waiting for him on the video in the Google image search for my face with the tongue picture that I have out there that I posted for my cell phone when I first. And that was a gold one, sorry. Anyway, humble brag. But anyway, so they bring it to the store. Kelsey opens it up with a bit driver. She has gloves on, which I think
that gave me flashbacks watching her open it.
Oh, because when you opened it up, we didn't use gloves, did we?
No.
We were like, screw it. I mean, they're pretty robust NES labels. I mean, how many fingers have been all over NES games? And the grease from fingers really doesn't come off on the labels.
These
really
labels aren't robust.
Well, in general, though, no. Well, one thing you can tell, one of the ways you can tell these, it's hard to fake an NWC in general because the board, the cutout dip switch. But most of the labels have at least a decent amount of bleed through.
I don't know that I've seen any that don't have bleed through.
There's a couple that have very minor or less than you would like.
Sure.
They all have something.
I mean,
mine is actually in the pantheon of NWCs. It's probably in the top half in terms of bleed through. It's fairly clean. Lucky that the guy probably never played it or handled it or exposed it to humidity. Maybe that helps. But it's a great story for sure, Ian.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say this. I have a recommendation. Because when they tested out the cart and they put it in the console in the video, the top label, which sometimes happens with these, is coming off. It's rolling off. You want to glue stick that sucker down because it'll keep rolling eventually. You don't want the top of it to come off. That'll be bad. So just take a little glue stick, from the dollar store, 3 for $1. It won't damage it, and you just paste it back on. I did that for I think on the one that came in, like the corners. I think had a little bit of that, I believe, and I think I glue stick a little corner. I think, but it was pretty. I thought it was pretty stuck down.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just want to do that just to protect it, and you want to make sure that stays down. Otherwise, that sucker will keep rolling up. That happens with the Maxi 15 card a lot because that label's garbage with that. Yeah, I'm excited. I think in the video, Jason said that he had an offer for $23,000. I think that's probably at this point probably in the ballpark. I think the highest amount was still around 20,000, and that included the one was with the Howard Phillips junk. That was like 3-4 years ago.
Right.
All the memorabilia he had from the NWC. But hey, maybe the bar moved up to 20,000. I don't know. With WAD and all these things, maybe now the NWC cards rise in value. We'll see. I don't know if this is something that will get graded or not. I am weirded out by grading NWC cards just because they were never in like pristine new condition. The same with the NWC golds. I don't agree with grading products that were never retail released and were just made willy-nilly by hand. I don't like that at all.
I mean, you can protect them in a case, but grading it is, I feel like it's hard to do when
there's no 10.
Yeah, there's no 10 to compare it to. There's nothing. I mean,
there's no 9
what's the
maybe.
Base, right?
And that's the whole point. When they were made, they didn't probably look that good, and they were used. So when you have a product that was used specifically for a purpose, I don't think grading it is proper. I'm not just saying that because, what are you afraid of your grade? No, I'm not afraid of my grade. I can sell the NWC card tomorrow, graded or not. Doesn't matter. I just think it's weird. And even more so with the gold cards, because those, what are you going to compare? How well it's cut? The triangle symbol, how well it's been glued by the Nintendo employee. What are you actually looking at that point? It's just kind of strange to me. It's a very OCD thing, I think, with collectors that want to do that. If you have a lot of money, it's, I want to get the 8.5 NWC grade. I want to get the 7. What do you do with the Mario one then? The one with, there's almost 2 with no labels, but what are you going to do with the famous Mario one? Does it get like a 1 or a 0.5? Does that mean it's less value then versus the others? By what factor? Because I think even a labelless NWC, you can probably get, $10,000 for
yeah,
probably
I would
at this
say
point.
It probably
So
wouldn't be a question.
It's not like if that was a comic book, a 0.5, you would get like 2% of the value versus half. So that's why the whole thing doesn't make sense to me when you're grading, especially a cartridge game. It doesn't add up to me. So, anything else to add? With this, it's a fun story. You got flashbacks with. We should have did one. We should have did a video back then with you putting on your little gloves.
I mean, it was different then.
It was a different time in 2000. What was that? Early 2010. It was a different time, Ian.
Yes. Yes,
Much more innocent time when Pat was still completing his NES collection. Wow, it was 9 years ago.
Yeah, you had that before you completed your NES
I did.
collection.
That's a Pat fact that Ian knows about me.